Stuff ready. Turn this guy off. Alright, let me go turn the music down. Okay, hi guys, Rob here. I was wanting to do just a little quick kind of a shout out, sort of a video for a couple of things. I had another little mail call today, I guess, and I'm filthy again, so I'm going to stay mostly off camera. But a couple of cool things. I got something I've been waiting for from, we'll just go ahead and stick with his real name here, B.O.Brad. There's a couple other little names we call him. I don't know if you can see that. That would be his stickers that he's sending out, and I got them today, and it's pretty cool. So I get to add those over here to the sticker. It's not really a sticker board, but I guess that's what we're going to call it. Everybody else calls it that too. So yay, thanks Brad. Pretty stinking cool. I bet I can set it there. I might not can. There we go. That'll work for right now, for the moment. And I got another thing from a buddy of mine. Brad I don't know real well yet, but I've talked to him a couple of times and I like him a lot. I look forward to getting to talk to him whenever I do. And I have a feeling if he and I spent much time together, we might lead each other astray and both of us get in trouble. And so who knows, it may be better that he lives way off up in the wilds of New Hampshire instead of down here in the wilds of West Texas. Another thing I got a buddy that lives up in Detroit, Iowa or Ohio or wherever it is, no, I'm kidding, Detroit, Michigan, up in Detroit, Michigan. Buddy of mine, DJ Dan, Detroit DJ Dan. Dan has been a friend of mine for a long time. Dan and I were buddies, I think even before I got married, when I was living up in Colorado. And Dan knows a lot of stuff about me, good and bad. Dan has been with me lots of times when I've done everything I could to hurt myself or get myself killed. And there's a mosquito. I've known Dan for a long time. Dan has moved. He was living in Colorado there in the mountains in Breckenridge where I was living at the time, and he and I were even roommates for a while. And we did a lot of learning from each other, mostly good stuff. But Dan, DJ Dan, the way he got DJ Dan, just a little background information here, is that's what he used to do. He used to do DJ stuff. He had the whole setup and did the things, and I didn't really know anything about it. I've never been, I don't know, it wasn't quite my thing, but you know, he was good at it, and I had a business that I was doing for a while, and even had him come spin some music. Do you say spin when you're talking about CDs or whatever these are? I don't know. But anyway, he came and did some music a couple of times, and it was good. He did a good job. And then he landed a job, and he was doing other stuff up there where we were living. But Denver was basically down the hill about 90 miles from us, about an hour and a half to get to Denver down I-70. And Dan landed a job at a club DJing downtown. And he told me about it, and I thought, oh, that's cute. You know, you go down there, probably got a few people that, you know, you're doing. And so he said, oh, you ought to go with me one night. So I went with him one night. Wow. This club was large. There were several hundred people out there on the dance floor, and Dan, there was a couple of different clubs associated with. One of them was a techno music, and the other was rap or something junk like that. I don't know. But the one Dan did was pretty much just plain old good rock and roll music of whatever he was in the mood for, and he would determine what he was in the mood for by watching the crowd, and he was good at it. I had no idea. The dude had people eating out of his hands. The crowd would just work with whatever mood Dan wanted him to be in. It was amazing to watch. I couldn't believe it. I flat couldn't believe it. And he thought it was hilarious that I did that. But it was a pretty good gig for him. Not the least of which was probably every night there'd be 15 or 20 women come up and, you know, often give him their phone number or maybe undo their shirt a little bit, and just like, wow, Dan, wow. And so it turned out Dan knew what he was doing, and it didn't stop me from giving him a bad time, though, blowing him some crap every time I could. But he was able to feed it back pretty good. But Dan was a very good friend. Well, now back up in Michigan, he built this great business up there where he does the CPR trainings for different companies when they have to keep all that kind of stuff up, and it just ballooned into a terrific business. He's going to be filthy rich probably one of these days. Maybe I can go sponge off of him. Wouldn't be bad. In the meantime, though, Dan, who, when I knew him, and I haven't seen Dan for, I think, since 2002, 2001, somewhere right in there is when he moved back, and about the time we came back here to West Texas. Dan had never picked up a guitar, and now Dan's got a band. Maybe not Dan's got a band, but he is part of a band, a 4-man group, and they call themselves let me figure out how to make this camera do right. The Motor City Acoustical Band. MCAB is how they're usually abbreviated. MCAB is how they do it. Hank put that up there. I don't know if we'll be able to see that at all, but there is a picture of Dan and the other guys that are in the band, and Dan is, which one is he? Let me look here real close. Dan is that one, the second. Good grief, camera's backwards. This is worse than a mirror. Dan is the second one from that side, this side. Anyway, that's Dan, and then they've got. This was their first one. Until yesterday, I've never heard any of their music. He's always just told me how great they were, and I should have known. If he said they were, they probably were. But he sent me a couple of CDs. This is the next one right here that they've done. I haven't listened to this one yet, but this one they've got some original music on. This was all cover stuff right here, but apparently they're turning into a big deal, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Dan, I think, is one of those guys that pretty much everything he touches turns to gold and turns to magic. So anyway, I got that, and I just wanted to share that with you. I'll put a link up for Brad, of course. If I can figure out, when I talk to Dan, they still don't have a YouTube channel for their music yet, but he's going to work on that. In the meantime, I'll see if I can find some kind of a link to post to it, and just because, but it's pretty cool. It's great having friends, and it's great getting to do stuff like this. That's about it. Like I say, just wanted to share that with y'all. I hadn't even cleaned up yet. That's how important you are. And I'm being silly, but you know what? Thank you. I appreciate. We picked up a bunch of new subscribers here over the last few days. I think thanks to SOS, Step One Survival, and staff and Sibby there, and I appreciate that. Everybody that's come over. I'm an easy guy to tell me what you like and don't like. I listen to it all. If you got a sincere comment for me, let me know. And it doesn't have to be all buttery, sweet, and soft buttery. That made me think of Bug Out Brad. I'm tempted to want to tell you all that, but I won't yet. Anyway, thanks guys.